Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today. I don't know where time is really flying, you guys. This is the middle of August and fall is just around the corner. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you 5 must-see high-end fall DIYs that you can recreate for your home decorating this fall season. But before we do that, I wanna take a second to thank this week's members, and they are Misty D, Nicole Rangel, Clairo Cruz, and Lucia Gibbs, who rejoined this month. Yay! Thank you, ladies, so much for becoming the new members. You can claim your badge now, and also you can start enjoying the members only perks. And if you want to support this channel, to become a member, all you have to do is click the join button somewhere on the screen, and then there's going to be a link in the description box below. And you can also claim your badge and start enjoying the perks for members only. With all of that said, I want to start this week's DIYs with a beautiful project that is inspired by the swag that we did last week. If you have not seen the swag with the owl, let me show you real quick. Okay, so I just want to show you the end result on the door, and I want to share with you some of the details, like the little owl, you guys. I'm so in love with it because it's standing on this beautiful pumpkin surrounded by ornaments and bows and ribbons, and it's just so beautiful. I do want to add real quick that I added some of these flyaways with the little ornaments. As you guys can see, they dangle on the wind, and they do create something that it just makes it a little bit more airier. You guys, I would not do a swag or a wreath without the flyaways, and then also without some of these picks like the leaves and the purple sequin leaves are just so beautiful. I really hope that you learned something with this wreath and that you would give it a try yourself. All right, you guys, well, that swag is going to be linked in the description box below if you want to check it out. But right now, I'm going to give you the materials you're going to need for our very first fall DIY. Let's watch. All right, everyone, so to decorate this beautiful lantern, what we're going to need is, of course, our lantern. And this one has a pumpkin that we had on our last lantern. We show you how to decorate. If you have not seen the neutral color pumpkin decoration, I'm going to put it down below in the description so you guys can check it out. And then also, I'm going to use the same selection of ribbons that we used for our owl swag, which is going to be a beautiful purple polka dot, a little accent orange, a deco material with all of the colors, and then also the D. Stevens black ticking stripe. That's gonna be our ribbons. For our swag, we're gonna use these foliage from Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna use one of the black or gray foliages. I'm gonna use this navy for some flyaway, and then also this beautiful purple that is going to give us that Halloween fall color. I'm gonna use a battery operated candle from Amazon.com, a wire, and then also florist tape and a selection of ornaments and the colors for this beautiful swag. I'm gonna clean real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna fill in the inside of it. So to do that, I have got to get my pumpkin out. So I'm gonna just get this guy out. I'm gonna put it back in because I might use this in another DIY. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put this candlestick right here in the middle, and I'm gonna start filling in with some of these ornaments. I want the whole bottom covered, but I do have to alternate the colors so they are all over the place. Add in some black. You can move that little candlestick holder because we want it to be full of ornaments. I'm gonna move it forward, back, forward, some on the corner. And that's just gonna give you, it's gonna give you that full look. And I'm gonna add, oh, I think that will be, yeah, that's it. It doesn't hold anymore. Then I'm gonna bring my candle and I'm gonna set it right here in the middle. And I'm gonna close, making sure that this guy's secure. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it right here for now so that we can get started with the rest of our DIY. And now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to cover this 16 gauge wire with some florist tape. It's very important that you cover it with tape because that way it won't hurt your fingers. And look, the way I do it is I just put my roll of tape right here. You pull a little bit. Now this is a tacky wax paper, so when you first put it right here on the top, all you have to do is roll it a little bit, and as you roll, you have to pull the tape. Has a stretch to it, and when you pull, it becomes tacky. So that way you can not hurt your fingers while you're working with this. So I'm just gonna make sure that I do this real quick. It's an extra step, you guys, but I promise you, you will not hurt your little fingers. All right, so I'm gonna put that over here to the side. I have a friend who's a chef, and every time that they do something like that, they say reserve, like reserve, put it to the side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a cute little bow. And for that, I'm gonna bring out my scissors because I will be needing them. And I'm gonna start with this beautiful black and white D. Stevens ribbon. And for this, I'm going to dovetail. So I'm gonna start with a cute little dovetail. So I'm gonna do probably like about 6 to 8 inches. And I'm just gonna do a cute little bow, about probably 5-inch bow. And you fold down and then you bring it back up and you start gathering with your fingers. This is the trick, is to always spin and have the pretty side up. I'm gonna cut flat right here because I wanna continue adding some bows to my bow. So I'm gonna add some of this deco material just to make it a little fluffier. I feel like this deco material will actually add some girth to our bow. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the bottom, about the same. And then I'm gonna do 2 loops of this deco material. It's gonna give it a little bit of shine because the deco material has that purple thread that I love that has some really pretty shine to it, or sheen to it. Are you guys enjoying this series? I'm having so much fun helping you decorate your home for fall. And I cannot wait for you guys to see what's next. Really, it's going to be a magical season coming up next. All right, so we have 2 now. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to introduce the next one, and for that, I'm going to put another tail right here without letting go. You know, I used to do bows different. This is almost like a funky bow, but it's all done in your hand, so you have to spin. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pinch right here, and then I'm going to do it all over again, just upside down like this, and then I'm gonna cut right here. We're gonna fluff all of this in a second, like that. And so now I'm gonna introduce the last ribbon, which is going to be this orange one. And this one, I wanna give it a longer tail because it's gonna be our accent ribbon. It's gonna be on the very top. Then you pinch right here. Once you pinch, you bring it back up like this. And then you pinch and you twist, and then you bring it back up. And for this one, because it's the smallest one, you always want to give it an extra loop just to make sure that it's all showing. And because it is a little one, well, you want to make sure that you add a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side. And for this bow, I'm going to do a zip tie to make sure that everything is zip tied together and secure very good, because you don't want your stuff to be falling off as you're having dinner with your friends, right? Oh, it's so hard sometimes with one hand, but we'll get it done. There you go. So now we're going to push really hard. Now, before I do that, I want to make sure that I introduce this wire that we just taped, because that's going to be what we use to secure to the lantern and to the swag. So just push really tight. So now I'm going to cut the excess. So now what you want to do is you want to fluff all of these cute little bows, and also you want to dovetail all of your tails. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. Okay, so the next step is to assemble our swag, and for that I'm going to bring out all of my stems that I have, and don't be afraid to cut your stems, all right? So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to go ahead and bend one up. I just need one up. That's gonna be our core right here where we'll attach all of it. And then I'm gonna bring this guy right here. And also I need to remove this pesky tag. How many of you prep your work before you start working and get rid of all of your tags? And then as I go, also I wanna make sure that I cut some of these stems because I don't want them to be showing everywhere, all right? So I'm gonna add this guy right here. I'll cut it in a second. want to make sure that it's like showing right here. I'm gonna cut this stem. And then I'm gonna add this guy right here, but for this particular one, I kind of want to make sure that I put some on the top. So what you want to do is you want to spin them up and around. And then also these ones, you want to make sure that you play with them and fluff them and make them look more voluminous. Like this, voluminous, voluptuous, however you say that word. I'm gonna cut right here at the core. Then I'm gonna push them back like that. So this is kind of like what you have right here. Remember to push some of them back. Oh my gosh, I forgot a tag. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this series. Be sure to let your friends know. They will not want to miss any of the Christmas videos, trust me. All right, so that's what we have. So we have some fall. That's gonna be our swag right here. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna introduce this cute little bow that we made that is going to be so much fun. So I'm gonna add this right here. You know what, I'm gonna zip tie this together, but I'm gonna do it with a little zip tie to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. Okay. Oh, there's another tag, oh my gosh. I thought I cut them all. You guys, let me tell you, we do so many projects a day that sometimes I dream of tags that they're chasing me on my sleep. Isn't that funny? So I'm gonna cut this guy right here. And so now I'm gonna add the bow. It is easier to just let go and you don't have to like really press. Look how cute is this. We're gonna add this bow right here. And then we're going to attach really tight on the back, about 2 spins. And so now what we're going to do is we're gonna add into our lantern. Let me bring our lantern to the center. And I'm gonna just attach this right here. Give it a few spins. And let me see, let me spin it to me so I can see what's going on right here. You might wanna just give your bows a little fluff. And look how cute this is, you guys. This was basically a few minutes, as you can see, in real time. Oh, there's a tail that is not dovetail either. All right, so let's dovetail this last one right here, because some of you have called me out on some of the ribbons that I forgot to dovetail, and well, I'm trying to be the best if I'm going to lead by example. All right, so there you go. Look how cute this is, you guys. It is super simple, super easy. All we have to do is turn our little candle on, and you have now a beautiful fall Halloween swag. What do you think? If you've been following this channel, you know that I love to decorate a lantern for fall. It is one of my favorite decorating tools, and I really do hope that you liked this idea. But now I'm gonna take a look back and I'm gonna share with you how to create a beautiful centerpiece for fall DIY that I really think that you're gonna love. Be sure to take note. Let's watch. Okay, so step number 1 is going to glue 2 of these blocks of foam into your tray. And I always like to leave the little package because when they crumble, then you don't have to deal with a mess. And then the other thing I went ahead is I just added a little bit of moss around my mechanics. So that way when I add my garland, if there's any spots that I missed, then you won't really be able to see them. So what I want you to do now is you're gonna go ahead and grab this garland and you're gonna put it down like this. And then you're going to go very tightly, very, very tightly. You're gonna grab 2 bristles, one on each side right here. And as tight as you can, you're gonna go ahead and tie this together to make it one and stay. And this is a tricky part because you have to make sure that you go over those corners because that's how that's going to stay. As you guys can see, it'll stay right here. Once you have your garland in place and it's all tied together, what you need to do is you need to start fluffing your garland to make sure that you have enough of these bristles to tie the rest of the elements in and covering some of that based on your centerpiece. Okay, so the next step is going to be to add some of this burlap ribbon from the dollar store. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and just pinch right here. As you guys can see, it's already dovetailed. And I'm gonna use my bristles and I'm gonna give them a little bit of a give, probably about a 4-inch give. And then I'm going to grab 2 more bristles of this garland. And that's why I like to use this garland for my fall projects, whether it's a swag, a wreath, or anything that you're making, because as you guys can see, you can use those bristles to really attach any element to your centerpiece. And this is going to be really, really elegant, not cheap looking, fall decorating ideas for your home. All right, so I'm gonna do one more right here. And as you can see, I'm going all the way into the garland, doing one loop one more right here, and I'm gonna go as far in right here into the garland so it looks like it's coming out of the garland. And I'm gonna cut right here. Once I cut, I'm going to dovetail just so that if the ribbon is showing like right here, it's finished. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab this other ribbon and I'm gonna start on the opposite side right here. So I'm gonna dovetail and then I'm going to pinch as far in as I can and attach. I want that to really show. And I'm gonna make this one closer to the foam so you can really see it. And as you guys can see, the loops are overlapping as I go. They're kind of on the same spot, but because one is higher than the other one, they overlap and they look like that you put them together at the same time, but you really didn't. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do another one right here. And because this is wired, you can always go back and fluff at the end. I'm always telling you to fluff at the end. I'm gonna do one more loop right here, and they are probably about 4 to 5 inches if you are wanting to replicate. And then we're gonna spin it right here. And once again, this lacy Susan really does help me to spin my project around. And this one is too tall. As you guys can see, what I'm going to do is just pull a little bit like that. And I think I'm gonna stop right here, but I'm going to dovetail my ribbon. So I'm gonna fold in half and always cut towards the edge like that. All right, so that's all of my ribbons. I'm gonna get all of my foliages ready and I'll be right back with you. Well, if you've been following the channel, you know that I like to cut all of my foliages at the same time because that way it's faster. You not have to go back and cut all of your stems one by one. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip my trash over here. And what I'm going to do at this moment, I'm gonna bring my candle back in. I'm gonna put it right here in the middle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this really pretty boxwood. And I'm gonna start right here in the corner, and that's what's gonna give our shape. Making sure that goes in that foam so you don't lose your foliages. At this point, if you wanted to glue it, you could. But you guys know that I like to recycle my materials so that way that I can show you more projects. I'm gonna do one right here on the top. Then I'm gonna remember what happens on the left happens on the right immediately. So that way it's balanced. As you guys can see, I started right here on the right. I moved to the left in the same spot. Then I did one to the top, one to the right here. And then I'm gonna do one right here in the front. But because I ran out of this particular foliage, what you need to do is immediately switch foliages and then go over to the other side where you added foliage right there. And then I'm gonna add one of these right here on the top. And I'm gonna move over to this side right here, making sure that it goes all the way into the foam. And remember, you can always fluff those foliages, those ribbons at the end. And this is starting to take shape. I love the way that the Christmas garland really helps me create a more full feel to it. Remember what happens on the right, we're going immediately to the left. And that's what's going to really elongate our shape. And I have one more right here that I'm going to add to the front. Right, so then we're gonna move into this oak foliage. I think it's an oak. And this is what's gonna help us really fill in and cover some of this Christmas garland. I'm gonna go over here. Starting to take shape. As you guys can see, it's super easy. All you have to do is repeat the steps. What happens on the left, happens on the right, and immediately move over to this side and insert over to this side like that. I love the foliage color on this because it looks like they're turning, and that is my favorite thing. I remember when I lived in Kansas and I used to go running, and my favorite time to run was of course during the fall because you could see all of the trees and all of the evergreens just turning colors, and it was just the most beautiful sight. All right, so I'm gonna insert one right here. And always keep in mind what happens on the right happens on the left. And that way you'll have a very balanced centerpiece. Remember, we're gonna fluff all of our ribbons at the end. Okay, I'm gonna get my flowers and my pumpkins ready and I'll be right back with you. All right, everyone, so I have a few sunflowers that I'm going to insert right here. I'm gonna start right here on the top and make sure that you go sideways so you can really go into that foam and you want to make sure that you go all the way down. So remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm going to swirl all the way around, and I'm going to repeat the exact same step, cut a corner from that one, and I'm going to go sideways like this. And then I'm going to go ahead right here on the bottom. So I'm going to give this one a little curve so it goes up. And I'm going to go ahead and grab and just insert right there. Then I'm going to move it immediately over to the other side, giving it a little curve with 2 of my fingers. I'm going to put this one right here on the bottom. And what I want to do now is I'm going to add some of these beautiful pumpkins, lifting my ribbon up. Look at that. Then I'm going to move over to the other side, and I'm going to insert one right here, making sure that goes all the way down. And then because I only have 3, I'm going to add a triangle. So I'm going to add this one over on this side. So far so good. But what's really going to make this centerpiece fly off your table is going to be the flyaways, and for that I'm going to use some of these bittersweet, and I'm gonna start by adding 2 on this side. And I love the way this bittersweet pulls the orange from the ribbon, and it just gives it that flyaway effect that you guys know I love. I don't do a centerpiece, a wreath, or a lantern without any flyaways, because I feel like they really just add that really beautiful natural look. And if you live in an area that you know where the bittersweet grows wild, you know, it like hangs on to fences, and it's just so pretty, and it just twists and turns, and it's just one of my favorite things about fall in the Midwest. I'm gonna add one right here. Then I'm gonna add another one over facing this side, like this. I'm gonna add a few more of these flyaways, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, so I just want to show you what the centerpiece looks like with all of the beautiful bittersweet, the hurricane and the candle, the pumpkins, the sunflowers, and all of that foliage that looks like it's turning in the wild. I cannot wait to read your comments, so leave me a comment down below. You can really make a statement this fall with this beautiful centerpiece DIY, and I really do think that it's super easy to make. If I can do it, you guys can too. All you have to do is follow these simple steps. But now I'm gonna share with you how to create a beautiful statement with a candlestick for fall with this gorgeous fall candlestick DIY. Something I've never done here on the channel, and I really hope that you like it as much as I did. Let's watch. Alright you guys, so for this DIY, I figured we'd do something we've never done here on the channel, and that's going to be a candlestick. Now the other thing we've never done on the channel, and I know everybody else out there has a bag full of all leftover things that you've used in past projects. Well, today we're going to use some of it because it's just gathering dust or space. And man, let me tell you, all these clippings do need to be used. So I'm gonna go through that, and I'm gonna select some greeneries that we're gonna use for our DIY. So what we're going to do is we're gonna do a candlestick holder where you're gonna be able to use a candle and then replace it with a pumpkin. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful. So let me clean that up. I'll tell you the next step. Stay tuned. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my mechanics, and for that I'm going to put a dab of glue on this foam right here, and I'm running out of glue, so I'm gonna put another glue stick in here so that I am ready. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that I press down, and that will stick into my container. This is a little plastic container from the dollar store because I want it to be a little bit more substantial. Then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put a little moss all the way around this to kind of cover the perimeter of that little plastic dish. So once we've done that, what we want to do is we're gonna cover some of this little foam with some full foliages, and I'm gonna do that by inserting some green, some orange. I'm trying not to burn myself, you guys. And so I want to do all the way around. I want it to kind of stick out a little bit more, and so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna actually put some glue here, and we want to cover this whole perimeter. Remember, what happens on the left happens on the right, and what goes up must come down. I'm gonna go over this side. And the foam, it's making it a little bit more difficult to insert. However, it is very important that you put that foam in there if you want to cover the whole perimeter of your container. So I'm gonna also alternate some foliages. I want some to be green, some to be orange, but I want them all to be fall-like. So that way it looks beautiful. And also want to make sure you don't want to put anything on the top of it because the pumpkin is a little bit larger. So we want to make sure that it sits in it. However, we do want to get as close as possible to the perimeter of our foam because I want to make sure that that candle sits there and you don't see the whole perimeter of it. So I'm just going to continue adding some, and I'm going to just grab glue right here from my gun and continue to add. Remember to alternate the green and then also the orange, so that way you have more of a full feel to it. I'm gonna add this guy right here, and I'm gonna continue adding these foliages, and I'll be right back to give you the next step. Okay, so now that I've covered most of the perimeter of my foam, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut some of these really pretty bittersweet to give it some bittersweet. I think it'd be really cute if we add it right here. And so I'm going to add a little bit of glue to my stem, making sure that I smear some of it. And I'm going to add right here. And remember, what goes up must come down. So be sure to put some of that bittersweet all throughout so they can look natural. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I love bittersweet, you guys. You know, it's one of my favorites to work with during the fall season because it really just adds so much volume to any centerpiece or to any arrangement that you'll be making. It just adds so much to it. So I'm gonna add another one right here. I'm gonna continue spinning, and I'm gonna add another one right here. And you can actually twirl them like this because that's how bittersweet grows in the wilderness. I remember when I lived in Kansas, bittersweet was my favorite to work with. All right, so I'm gonna add a little glue to this one right here, and so like that. And so now I have some of these big magnolia foliages. These are gonna be fun because they're gonna add a lot more texture. So you just add a little bit of glue right here, and then you start inserting those big foliages like that. Look how pretty that is. It just helps to cover some of the perimeter because they are a larger foliage. So it's so much fun to use, and all you have to do is just insert like that and make sure that it sticks to one of your foliages around here. And I'm just gonna continue adding this all throughout the perimeter. And look how we went from that little centerpiece to now a larger one that is going to look so pretty on a stick or a stand. I'm gonna add one right here on the bottom, just lifting up some of my foliages, and I'm gonna add right there. I'm gonna continue to spin around. Remember to always spin around your arrangements because you want them to be very balanced, and the way you balance your arrangements is by spinning them around. So now I have a last foliage of magnolia, and I'm gonna add it towards the bottom. I'm gonna add it right here, so just lifting up like that. So far so good. Look how cute that is, you guys. That's turning out really, really pretty. So now I'm gonna put this to the side because I want to show you how to make a cute little bow. So I'm gonna bring, oh, let me give this a little wipe real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my ribbon, and because this ribbon is too thick or too wide to make any loops, what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna give myself some tails. So probably about 8-inch tails, and I'm gonna dovetail on both sides. And so I'm gonna put that down, and then I'm gonna bring this deco material, and I'm also gonna do the same thing. So basically just cut about 8 inches. Remember, we want all the same elements to be all throughout all of our decorations at home. Make sure that you dovetail that guy right here, and I'm gonna lay that down like that. So that's gonna be the beginning of our bow, and I have a zip tie somewhere, so let me just get a zip tie. It went away from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pinch this guy right here, and that's gonna be like our tail. And then we're gonna cross the other one, and we're gonna pinch right there as well. That's gonna be our tails of the wider ribbons. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my polka dotted ribbon, and I'm going to give myself a tail. I'm going to pinch, and then I'm going to, oh, here's my zip tie. I'm going to do a loop, and then I'm gonna remember to always spin around so you can get all of that beautiful pattern, okay? And then I'm gonna do, because these are going to be only 2 ribbons that I'm gonna use to do loops, I'm going to do 3 loops each, and I'm gonna cut right here. I will make sure that I dovetail those at the end. Then I'm gonna bring my other one, and it's going to be this beautiful glitter lame. It's one of my favorites. I'm gonna pinch right here, giving it a tail. Remember to always put the tail in first. Then I'm gonna pinch right here, and then I'm going to twist around, and I'm going to go back up again and pinch, and then I'm gonna pinch again, and I'm gonna do a third one right here, like that. So I'm gonna cut, and so now using my zip tie, I'm going to zip tie all of this together. Now remember what I said, that if the thicker the ribbon is, just do tails for a small project. If you're making a bigger project, of course you can always do tails for everything, but because this is a smaller project, what I want to do is just want to make sure that I have some of the fabric, and look at that. So now what you can do is just fluff all of your tails, all of them like this, and all of your bows, including that deco material. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dovetail these guys real quick to make them a little bit smaller because they are a little long. And look how cute this was. Super easy and simple. Oh my gosh, this 1-inch ribbon is so beautiful. You have to have the variation of widths on your ribbons to make sure that you create some pattern and then also some texture into your ribbon. All right, so that's gonna be it. Now here's the trick how we're going to attach. I'm gonna grab a big wire, and I have one that is, let's see, I have one already here. It's about, I wanna say about a 20 gauge. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna do like a U-shaped clip like this, and I'm gonna go through the zip tie right here. Oh my goodness, I forgot to cut it. Here's the zip tie, we're gonna cut the excess of that. And then we're gonna push that little US pin right here. So now I'm gonna bring my little arrangement, and I'm gonna add a little bit of glue to the wire to make sure that when it goes in the foam, well, it'll stay there. Okay, so now I'm gonna add it right here to the side. And look at that. That just gives you all of the ribbons, all of the patterns. How adorable is this, you guys? So far, so good. This is what it's looking. I'm gonna bring the rest and show you a few more tricks. Stay tuned. So this is what the candlestick is looking like right now, and I love the way this looks. However, what we're going to do is we're gonna add some of the elements that we put on the rest of the projects or DIYs that we did with this particular theme. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually gonna cut some individual foliages from this. I'm gonna do 3 of this, and I'm gonna reserve the rest. I'm gonna put it right here on the bottom, and then I'm gonna cut 3 of these big ones as well. Remember to always try and add the same elements to all the projects to make them look cohesive. I'm gonna do another glitter one, so it has some of that beautiful glitter. So I have 6 foliages that I'm going to add. And then also what I'm going to add is some of these cute glitter pumpkins. They already have a pick to them, so I'm gonna put them right here on the side. But I'm gonna start with these foliages right here. So I'm gonna add some glue right here, making sure that I smear really good. I'm gonna spin this around to me, and I'm gonna open right here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add it. I'm gonna start right here with a bow. And so I added a purple one, and now I'm gonna add a black one. So I'm gonna add more glue to it right here. Isn't this fun, you guys? This would be so beautiful on a server, on an entryway table. It just would be so pretty in your home. Like this, making sure that you give that foliage a little shape. Look how cute that is. And so now I'm gonna add, I think I'm gonna add another purple one, 2 purple ones and a black one. But make sure that you are generous with your hot glue gun and it won't come off. Okay, so I'm gonna add one right here where the ribbons are. Look at that, how adorable it is. And so now what I'm gonna do is to balance on the other side, I'm gonna do 2 of the black ones. And I'm going to make sure that I add a lot of glue so it sticks to the foliages. Let's see, I'm gonna add it right about here, like that. And then I'm gonna add yet another one right here. So 2 of the black. Let me see, I'm gonna put this guy right here. This foliage, you can just attach it to another foliage like this. And then I'm gonna add the last purple one that I have, making sure that I add where I cut, right there. Lots of glue. And I'm just gonna add this guy right about here. So it has that polka dot of purple. How adorable is that? Now to finish it all off, I'm gonna add some of these glitter pumpkins. So I'm gonna put just one right here, and I'm gonna attach this guy right in the center of my bow. And it went into the foam. And then on the other one, I'm gonna add two to my design right here. One there, and the other one right about here, right next to it. So that's what it looks like. So now what you need to do is you need to put either your pumpkin, which I think it would be so cute. Just add a pumpkin to it, and you can put this on a server, or you can put this on an entryway table, or you can grab your candle like it's meant to be, and then you grab your little remote and you turn it on, and that's what it looks like. I had so much fun sharing this one. Like I said, we've never done it on the channel, and I just thought it would be really cute to show you something different. What do you think? Okay, so I want to show you a close-up of what it looks like with the pumpkin on top, and then explain that these guys right here need to be bent a little bit so the light really catches it. But as you guys can see, this was done mainly with all recycled item, and I just added a few items. Let me change it for the candle, and I'll be right back to show you the candle style. Okay, so here it is with the candle, and this would be, like I said, perfect for a server, perhaps an entryway table, maybe a buffet table, and it was super easy to make. I really do hope that you guys are inspired to create something beautiful and different this year for your fall decorating. Now, wasn't that fun? Something I've never done here on the channel, and I really hope that you are inspired to decorate for fall your candlesticks. You can put on a sideway table and an entryway table and a buffet table. It is such a beautiful piece. I really hope that you give it a try. But now we're gonna take another look back, and I'm gonna share with you a little lantern that is super easy to make, and it can be done in a few minutes. Let's watch. All right, everyone, so for our first fall DIY, what we're going to do is we're gonna decorate this little lantern, and we're gonna make it look really fabulous. For that, what we're going to need is some leftover fall ribbon. This came from the dollar store a few years ago, and you guys know that I like to recycle my ribbon. Just roll it like this and put it away at the end of the season. I'm gonna use my scissors, one of these pipe cleaners, a zip tie, an LED candle with a remote, of course this cute little lantern, and a selection of foliages, berries, and a pumpkin. This is going to be super simple, so I'm actually just gonna push everything aside, and I'm going to get started. The very first thing I want to do is create a cute little swag, and for that what we're going to do is we're going to get our longest piece, like this little bushel of wheat. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna separate it in two, and I'm gonna push some of them up to kind of get a core. So right here in the middle where we separate is going to be our core, where everything's gonna radiate from, all right? So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these leftover pieces, and I'm going to stagger them one facing up. Remember, what goes up must come down. So you wanna make sure that you never let go of your core right here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna add one of these berry foliages. This actually was a pick that I took apart from Hobby Lobby, because sometimes, you know, you pay for your items, might as well just go ahead and use them. Now, what I want to mention right here is that when you put one up like that, you need to come to the opposite side to stagger them. So that way it creates more texture when you finish your swag. Then I'm gonna grab a few of these berries, and I'm gonna just stagger them up and down, creating this radiating motion from all over my swag. Then what you need to do is you need to grab your pipe cleaner, and we're gonna, your zip tie, and we're gonna zip tie all of this together real quick. As tight as you can without letting go of your core. That way, well, it doesn't come falling apart. Okay, so then I'm gonna cut the excess. I'm gonna put that to the side. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna create a cute little bow. And I just wanted a small bow because it is a small lantern, so I'm gonna leave just a small tail, probably about 4 inches. And I'm gonna do a cute little bow, making sure that it's proportionate to my lantern. And if you guys haven't, I'm sure by now everybody knows how to make a cute little bow. It's super easy. This is gonna be a simple bow that doesn't have to overpower our lantern. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your pipe cleaner, push through, and give it a twist like this, and then we'll fluff. You don't want a bigger bow than this because you don't want to overpower the top of your lantern with all of your goodies. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring this swag and I'm gonna grab this pumpkin that's going to be our focal point. I'm gonna join it right here. Then I'm going to add the bow to it. And really tightly, I'm going to secure all of this together by spinning it around like this. And then I'm gonna put this to the side. We'll fluff in a second. Now what I want to do is I'm going to open my cute little lantern. I'm going to insert this little candle that is battery operated, and I'm going to turn it on like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my swag on top of my lantern. This would be really cute for a side table. This could be really cute for an entryway table. I've done a chandelier with multiple of these. If you guys haven't seen that, I'm going to link it down below. It was a Christmas chandelier that it was just so cute with multiple lanterns decorated for Christmas. And so basically you just want to attach this to the back very tightly. And once you have that done, you want to fluff your bow. Make sure that you see some of that bow and that pumpkin. I'm going to spin it around to me so I can see what I'm doing. Perfect. And at this point, what you want to do is also you want to give it a little curvature like that. And just like that, you have a cute little lantern. As you guys can see, decorating for fall does not have to take a long time with this beautiful lantern DIY. I had so much fun making this tiny little lantern, and it really does make a statement. I've done actually a centerpiece where I've done 3 of them in a row, and it just creates the most beautiful fall centerpiece you can create for fall. Super simple and easy. But now I'm gonna share with you the last DIY. It is an alternative for a swag that I really do think you're going to like. Let's watch. For this last fall DIY, what I want to do is show you a swag alternative for your front door. Remember at the beginning of the video, I shared with you the swag that we did in a previous video, and it was absolutely beautiful. But if you are more on a budget, I'm gonna give you a small alternative of how to create something beautiful for your door this fall. And we're gonna start with some fall foliages and some of the items that we've been using throughout the video. So what I'm going to do is, I'm gonna start with this fall foliage from Hobby Lobby, and I'm gonna do 2 going down and stagger them like this. You might wanna give it a bend to one side so it gets fluffier, like that. And then I'm gonna do 1 up here. That's gonna be our core right here. You wanna make sure that you bring this one down like this and get rid of this tag. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring in one of these black little sparklers that I love because that's gonna help us fill in right here the void that we have. And then I'm gonna add one right here on the top. Remember, what goes up must come down, so we have to make sure that we use the same elements up and down. Now also remember, whatever happens on the left happens on the right, so be sure to alternate the sides when you are doing something like this. So now I'm gonna add this cute little pig that came from Walmart, and that's gonna be more of our filler. So I'm gonna put 1 up, and then I'm going to insert 1 going down like this. And now, oh my gosh, it's getting full right here, but it's okay, you can use all your hand. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring one of these beautiful purple sparklers that I call the sparklers, and I'm gonna add it right here. And we're gonna fluff it a little bit so all of them show. And then I'm going to add this really cute purple one going up here to kind of balance it off. And we'll adjust in a second to see if we need to be adjusted. And then I'm gonna add this one right here on the bottom as well. And I'm gonna introduce this guy right here, like this. And we'll start fluffing in a second, but the first thing we wanna do is make sure that we tie all of this together. And I'm gonna use a zip tie for that. And I'm going to pull really tight to tie them all together, then we're gonna fluff. But first I'm gonna cut the excess of this zip tie right here. Okay, so now I'm gonna put that to the side, we'll fluff in a second. Now what I want to do is, I want to use all of the leftover ribbon that I have from this. Oh, that's actually a lot that I have left over. I did not know that. But what I want to do is I want to do simple loops. So what I want to do is leave a tail. about that big, and then I'm going to just do one cute loop like that, and then I'm gonna do a longer tail, and I'm gonna cut right here. And so I'm gonna introduce now my black and white one. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna do a tail, and then I'm going to do a cute loop like this, and then I'm going to cut right here, roll that tail at the end. So now what I want to do is I want to bring the deco material ribbon, and I'm going to also do a big long tail, and then I'm going to do a loop right here, and I'm going to cut again. See how easy this is? All you have to do is single loop. Now I'm going to bring this beautiful orange 1-inch ribbon, and I'm going to do the same. Remember, because he is the smallest of them all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 loops of him. So I'm going to do yet another one right here. So I'm going to bring it over to the other side. I'm going to swap. I'm going to see if I can swap. Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm going to put it on this side, and then I'm going to do a loop. And now I'm going to, well, that's all there is of him, so that's good. So now you want to fluff, make sure that you have them about the same height. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a wire, not a zip tie this time, but a wire, because I'm going to make sure that I attach it to my swag. So basically just go like this and pull back really tight. You can measure right here, like I can see this a little bit too floppy. So I'm going to go down a little bit, make sure they're all at the same height. Perfect. And so now I'm going to twist like this, and I'm going to grab my swag, and I'm going to attach right here in the middle. And I'm going to swirl real quick. So now I'm going to fluff my swag, and I'm going to start separating all of my stems, making sure that they all show like this. All of the stems that have some foliage in them, just make sure you fluff them and thin them out so they can start showing, and then we'll fluff all of our ribbons at the end. So every single swag, every single stem, you want to make sure that you attach to make it look more abundant like this. These sparkles you want to put to the side, and you want to fluff. This black and white right here you want to put to the side by giving them a little touch like that, and you want to fluff. And see how much fuller it became? I'm going to fluff these ribbons, put it in the door, and show you what it looks like. Keep watching. Alright, so I just want to show you how beautiful your door can look if you are looking to put a swag that is absolutely bountiful and actually colorful at the same time. I really love working on this simple yet elegant design, and I really hope that you guys are inspired. As you can see, it's not a lot of things that you need to create something beautiful for your door this fall. I cannot wait to read your comments, so leave me a comment down below. Alright you guys, well that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoy all of these fall DIYs. They are high-end looking and super easy to make. If you enjoyed them, be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell so you're notified about all of the upcoming videos you will not want to miss, especially the holiday ones is coming so quick. I want to take a second to thank once again the new members. Thank you ladies so much for supporting this channel and becoming members. And if you want to be a member, there's going to be a link in the description box below so you can enjoy the members only perks. Thank you once again for watching this week. Consider subscribing. You can watch more videos right now. Until next time, bye.